guests, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada 7 updates and spoilers. Our house guests of the day. It's the C Club. We've got Connie Amaya, Christopher Feltz, Christina Dune, Christian Walters, Krista Patton, and Chris Erickson. Oh my goodness, so many Chris's! So, thank you guys so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we really, really appreciate it and think you're awesome. And if you guys want to be house guests today, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. We've only got a few of these suckers left. Alright, so what's up right now? Is Mark gonna campaign at all this week? Because so far, he's done dick. I can tell you, yes, he is gonna campaign. That'll come later. But at the point of the end of yesterday's spoiler, like last night, he was still under the impression that he's staying. But still, like, even if you think you're staying, you're not gonna go and, like, at least check on your votes? That's crazy. So, Dane and Mark were chatting, and Dane is keeping up his act that he's going home this week. Mark is totally oblivious. He's talking like he's staying, and Mark is like, do you think that everyone would take Kira to the end? And Dane's like, well, I don't want to be sitting in jury deciding between Kira and someone else. Like, it better be two pretty boys in the end. So Mark is like, yeah, well, I feel like I'm going to be taken to the final three and then cut. That's awkward, because you're not going to make it to the final three. But anyway, Dane says that Adam just came to him and thanked him for everything that he's done for him throughout the game, like winning HOH 3 times and not putting him up. And he's like, it sucks that you gotta go. Dane is telling a half-truth here, because Adam did go and talk to him and thank him for not putting him up, but he did not say, like, it sucks that you're going. Because Adam knows that Dane's gonna be safe. So anyway, Adam and Anthony were chatting in the bathroom area, and apparently, while the feeds were down, because they usually have the feeds down while the show is airing, Kira told Adam that Anthony has officially decided to keep Dane. So Adam asks Anthony, what changed your mind this week? You know, at the beginning of the week, you were so gung-ho about getting rid of Dane, and now it's switched to Mark. You know, what was the selling factor for you? How did that happen? Walk me through it. So Anthony's like, okay, well, I can't do the Anthony voice. Anthony says that Dane has fought this game for the pretty boys. He's won competitions. He's finessed his side for the pretty boys to keep them off the block. So he's done some stuff for the group. Mark has not. However, Anthony is certain to tell Adam, Dane and Mark both would have taken you out 2 to 3 weeks ago if the opportunity presented itself. Which is true. They have been plotting against him. But at the same time, Anthony has also been talking about getting rid of Adam for a long time. So he's conveniently leaving that out. Obviously, he's not going to say that. But it's crazy how hypocritical Anthony can be. So Adam says, well, I was just talking to Mark and Dane, and I told them, look boys, it's been a long season, but I just wanted you to know I've never plotted against either of you. Which is true. Adam is definitely the most loyal of the pretty boys to the group. He's always like, let's go to the end, let's make this happen, where everybody else is running around being like, let's take out this person. So Dane and Mark claimed the same. They were like, yeah, I've never plotted against you either, and neither have I. So Adam says he got up and left because he was freaking pissed. Because according to everything Anthony's been telling him, these guys have been plotting against him. And in this case, what Anthony was saying is true. Again, he conveniently left out that he was also plotting against Adam. But it is true that Dane and, what's his face, Mark were plotting against him. It's hard to keep all these names straight, right? Okay, so anyway, Anthony says what really changed his mind this week to keep Dane is that Dane has worked to keep their names out of other people's mouths, and Mark hasn't. Mark tried to make other alliances, but his social game was so bad that no one wanted to get close to him. I mean, yeah, he kind of had something going for a while with Kiki and Esty, but he really freaking blew that one. And Adam's like, you know what? Mark doesn't even talk to me one-on-one anymore. I could, like, walk into a room where he is, and within 5 minutes, he's gonna get up and leave. Like, he won't talk game to me anymore. He won't even talk to me socially. So Adam wants to know, why does Mark feel so safe and comfortable with Anthony and Kira? What's that all about? Because he hasn't come to me and campaigned at all. So why does he feel so safe? And Anthony gives like this weird answer that doesn't really answer the question, which should definitely be of concern to Adam because it's weird. So then Adam's like, okay, well, Dane's on board to take out Kira next, right? Like, I don't want to get played. Adam's getting a little bit suspicious that maybe Dane, Anthony, and Kira made some sort of final 3 deal and they're planning on taking out Adam, which is exactly what they did. I don't know how serious Dane and Anthony are about it, but that is something that happened for sure. So Anthony's like, oh yeah, of course, Dane wants to take out Kira. We all want to take out Kira next. So then Anthony says, Mark has plotted against you. And then Adam's like, yeah, but like, hasn't Dane done that too? And Anthony says, yeah, but like, no, Dane has only planted seeds. He hasn't actually plotted against you. Come on, man. Anthony wants to make sure that Adam keeps Dane this week, but doesn't trust him for next week. You know, he wants to make sure that Dane is the next target if it's up to Adam. So then Adam is like, wow, I can't trust Dane, Mark, or Kira now. They've all lied right to my face, and I have no choice but to trust you, Anthony. Oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. I don't understand how the pretty boys have seen Anthony in action all season and they don't realize that he is pulling the same stuff on them that he's pulled on everyone else. It's crazy. So it blows my mind that they're not seeing Anthony is the biggest liar of them all. He's just that good. So at this point, the plan is still on track to keep Dane. And Dane is reassuring Kira that they're going to take out Adam next because that is what Kira wants to hear. Yo, you gotta beat him in 2 competitions before he could go, so good luck with that. But today, oh shit, here we go. Because all week we've been waiting for the pretty boys to tell Mark that he's gonna be the one going, and it's finally time. So, with Anthony's permission, Kira has the chat with Mark. And I'm not talking about like sex ed, this is Kira telling Mark that he is going this week. So Kira's like, moving forward, I need people I can trust, and it's not that I don't trust you, but I trust other people more than I trust you. So for that reason, I'm out. Shark Tank. No, they say, for that reason, things are not going to go as planned, aka you're going home. So Mark says, I feel like this wasn't a last night decision. And Kira says, yeah, I've been going back and forth about this for days. I just decided this morning, which is not really true. Kira decided a while ago. Actually, Anthony decided a while ago, you know? But Mark says, well, it seems like your mind is already made up, but, you know, just keep in mind, everyone would take you to the final 2, which I don't think is true. But he says, you know, your best chance to actually win in the end is against me. And that is true. So Kira's like, well, okay, if that's what you're saying, then why have I been hearing that you're throwing my name out there the last few weeks? Of course, Kira heard this from Anthony. Who else? So Mark is like, okay, yeah, I threw out your name as a pawn. Like, I never wanted you to go. I never wanted you out of this game. And at this point, Mark is talking a mile a minute. It's crazy. So he's like, I've been fighting for you since week 2. I don't have a chance against those other guys. Why would I want to go to the end with them? Obviously, I want to go with you. And Kira's like, I don't know who to believe. So Mark is like, you know what? I knew something was going on this week because people were acting strange and fishy. So at this point, they both want to talk to Anthony. That should be a sign. But Kira manages to grab him first. So Kira and Anthony are chatting, and they tell him what Mark said. And Kira's like, someone's lying to me. We need to have a group chat or something to sort this out. And I'm like, yes, group chat. Because maybe that would shed some light on Anthony's game here. The group chat does not end up happening because there's no way that Anthony's going to let that happen. Yeah, but Kira says, I'm not going to vote out the guy that I know I can beat in the end if I'm being lied to. I think you would. But Anthony's like, oh, so what? You're saying you can trust Mark now? Really? And Kira's like, I don't know. Something is going on because it would make sense for Mark to want to go to the end with me. Put the freaking pieces together. Anthony is lying to you. So Anthony says, Kira, you need to stop giving Mark information because he's going to go to Adam with that, and Adam is going to find out that we're just keeping Dane around to take Adam out, and then he's not going to want to keep Dane anymore. So all you have to say to Mark is that you feel better with keeping Dane. That's it. So then Kira talks to Adam, and they tell Adam that officially, like, they want to keep Dane this week. So this is a little bit jarring for Adam to hear, because earlier in the week, Kira was 100% wanting to take out Dane. And it was kind of confusing this week knowing like who knew what each person really wanted to do, because there was a lot of like back alley deals going on and stuff. All the talks between Dane and Kira and Anthony, they were kind of keeping Adam out of the loop with that. So he didn't realize that Kira was fully on board with this. So Adam's like, is this coming from you or from someone else? Like, who is making this decision here? Which is like the last thing Kira wants to hear, because Kira wants everyone to know that they made this decision themselves and there was nobody influencing them, which is hilarious. But anyway, Adam is like, are you, Dane, and Anthony planning this so that you can get me out next week? It'll be 3 versus 1. Yep, you solved it, good job. But Kira says no. Kira is denying it, and Adam's like, I don't believe a word that's coming out of your effing mouth right now, and he leaves. So then Adam tells Dane about the conversation with Kira, and he's like, yo, something is not adding up here. Kira wanted you out so badly at the beginning of the week, and Adam says, I'm gonna be so pissed if the 3 of y'all are plotting against me and you're gonna try and take me out next week, which again is exactly what they were talking about. But Dane is hardcore denying it. He's saying pretty boys to the final 3. That's all there is to it. I don't know, honestly, what Dane or Anthony would do if it was up to them to, you know, get rid of somebody at the final 4. I don't know who they would take with them. It's hard to tell if they would stay loyal to the pretty boys or if they would keep Kira around. It's really going to depend on who wins that that final 4 HOH and the power veto. So Dane and Anthony are both reassuring Adam, pretty boys, final 3, it's the pretty final 3, blah, blah, blah. And Adam is like, there has to be some reason that Kira wants to keep Dane. And the reason that they're feeding him is that Dane cried after the ceremony, and that made Kira feel bad, and they were playing on Kira's emotions and blah, blah, blah. But Adam's like, no, there's no way that that's the only reason that Kira changed their mind. No. They know that their best shot at winning is against Mark, so why all of a sudden do they want Dane to stay? It doesn't make sense. And Anthony's like, Kira's not beating anyone. Come on, Adam. You know what's going on here. You know. Just, you know, follow your instincts here. So then Adam's talking to Mark. He has some questions for him. He's like, Mark, why did you never campaign to me? And Mark's like, you already had your mind made up. I know you better than Sam does. I know how you work. And it's hilarious because when Adam asked Mark, when Adam was like, I have some questions for you, Mark was like, oh, really? Like in the last few hours on Thursday afternoon? Dude, you're the one up on the block. Why weren't you campaigning? So then Adam's like, and you want me out? And Mark doesn't deny it. He's like, you know what? You're the strongest guy here. Ugh. So Adam says, okay, well, you've been plotting against me for a while then? And Mark says, never. I've never been plotting against you for a while. Okay. So Adam's like, dude, you haven't talked game with me in like 2 weeks. What's up with that? And Mark says, your mind has been made up. You know, why am I going to bother talking game with you? But then he's saying that they have talked game. What? But Adam's like, you should have campaigned. And then my mind wouldn't have been made up. So anyway, Kira's all paranoid now that Dane and Anthony are trying to pull one over on them, and that they're actually going to go to the final 3 with Adam. So like they're cleaning up this mess as well. And again, honestly, I think it's going to depend on who wins the HOH and the veto. Because obviously if Adam wins HOH, they're gonna try and get rid of Kira. As long as Kira doesn't win POV. And then vice versa, if Kira wins HOH, they're going to want to try and get rid of Adam, unless Adam wins the power veto. But I don't know what they would do if they won HOH and POV. It would be really interesting. So anyway, Mark and Anthony were chatting in the blue bedroom. This is what we've been waiting for, right? So Mark is like, do I have your vote? You know that they're going to go after you next week if I'm not here anymore. And there was such a long pause from Anthony. Woo! So Mark's like, I have no idea why the answer would be no. So then Anthony says, Mark, you literally looked at me and said that you would vote for Adam to win the whole thing over me if they were in the final two together. And Mark is like, I said that in the heat of the moment. I was upset at the time. I need your vote now, buddy. Of course, Kira interrupts this conversation. But after they leave, they pick it back up. And Mark is like, what's going on here? Like, I need your vote. Anthony's playing dumb. He's like, what do I know? I don't know what's going on. Come on, man. So Mark says, well, I know you're really smart and you're good in these situations. And Mark reminds him, I freaking covered for you earlier in the week when Adam was saying that you were saying to put up Kira and Esty last week. I didn't have to do that. But I would do it again in a heartbeat if I had to. So Anthony's like, yeah, you did, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Stick a pin in that because they're going to talk again later. Anthony doesn't give him an answer at that time, but they're going to talk again later. So then Kira is waffling more because they talk to Mark again and they're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know who's lying to me. So Anthony's putting in the extra work to get what he wants and it seems like it's working. So then there was one last chat between Mark and Anthony Anthony's like, why would you vote for Adam to win over me? Like, this is really bothering him. He's got to make sure that he's got these jury votes before they leave the house. So Anthony's like, after everything we've been through, you wouldn't vote for me? And Mark says, again, I was heated. I made a mistake. You have my vote. And I'll tell the jury that you should win. And Anthony's like, okay, that's great. But, like, why? Is it because I haven't won competitions? You know, what is it? And Mark's like, no. I think you deserve to win $100,000 because you're so good at manipulating people, yada, yada, yada. And you've been saying all season that you can change people's minds in 10 minutes. Boom. I need help right now. So he's calling Anthony out on things that he has said. And he's like, I know that you're capable of this. Will you please help me? It should be clear to Mark at this point that Anthony does not want him to stay because he's not making any moves here and he knows that he can do it. So Anthony's like, well, even if I vote for you to stay, Kira's gonna vote you out if it's a tie, so it wouldn't matter. And Mark says, you're the man with the manipulation and the finesse this season. If you wanted it to change, Kira's vote would change. Amen. But Anthony cannot even look at Mark during this conversation. Oof. Okay, so then while they were talking, Big Brother called the house guests to the living room for their like live show rehearsal. And Mark was like, all right, I guess I'll leave you with that. And there was no answer from Anthony. Wow. Okay, way to own your decisions. So they hug, the feeds cut, and that was it for today. So the eviction is tonight. At this point, it looks like Mark will still be going 2-0 unless like Adam is like, whoa, I need to get rid of Dane. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, something crazy could happen because all this information is circulating now. But yeah, as far as I know, Mark will still be going. And I want to know from you guys, who do you want to win the next HOH? I kind of would like to see Adam win. Because I would like to see the other three scramble and choose like amongst themselves who's gonna go, but that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and until tomorrow, much love.